have been in the cannabis industry since before there was a cannabis industry.
Right.
And I'm still here, miraculously. I don't think they picked the right state to try it in. I was like, no, I'm not moving the pipes. You take me to court over this.
He kept selling bongs on Newbury Street after the cops told him to pull them. He took every pipe out of the store one night and then walked them right back in the next morning.
And I took them out, we took everything out, and then I put them back in there the next day.
I'm Jason Reposa. After 30 years in tech and cannabis, I host High Functioning to show it actually works. Today's guest is John Napoli, co-founder of Quincy Cannabis and the Quincy Golf Lounge.
I also founded the Hempist, which was back in 1995. My wife, Kim, was part of the campaign to legalize. You know, we won with 53% of the vote.
He opened the Hempist in 1995, helped write the 2016 legalization language that won at the ballot, and now runs one of the top performing dispensaries in the state.
We don't do a lot of math here. People say, yeah, I saw your billboard and I came in. It happens all the time. We want to have a consumption lounge here.
We get into the billboard bet most operators call a waste, the golf lounge he's turning into a consumption space, and why he's spending his own money to crush the repeal effort this November.
We can get people together, strategize about how we are going to defeat this prohibition effort. Unfortunately, politicians are not profiles encouraged.
This is the long game, played by someone who's been here since before there was a game. Let's dive in. Quick break. I built Good Feels because I wanted cannabis without smoking, vaping, or guessing my serving. So we made measured hemp-derived THC seltzers, gummies, and drink drops. If you want to try them, use code JASON25 for 25% off your order. 21 plus only. Check your local laws before ordering. Back to the episode.
Jonathan Napoli, yes. This is the Quincy Golf Lounge that we're in. We founded this last year. Quincy Cannabis Company is another company I founded with my partner, Ron Afsa, here in 2023. And I also founded the Hempist, which was back in 1995. We only recently converted the Northampton location to a dispensary in 2022. And I also founded Van Garden Cannabis Company, which is a tier 8, I believe, grow in Leicester, Massachusetts. And have been in the cannabis industry since before there was a cannabis industry.
Right.
And I'm still here, miraculously.
Well, that's what I was going to get to, because you had said, I have, based on the research we did here, it was the Hempist came up first. It was like 25 years ago, 30 years ago. What is that?
1995, it's 31 years ago. Like, this is all hemp clothing that I'm wearing. We manufactured a ton of hemp clothing in China because obviously hemp was very illegal back then, but you were legally allowed to import the crop. So, China never made it illegal. So we did most of our business, from there. And we just kind of educated the public for a long time, leading up to 2008 decrim, leading up to the 2012 medical, and leading up to obviously 2016. Yeah. And I helped bring in the Marijuana Policy Project in 2016. And there was a little bit of debate about whether to use like mass cans language or MPP. And
well, mass can is based on as normal, right?
Yes. Yeah. Their division.
MPP is a
totally different thing. Yeah. But MPP had a little bit more of a track record of success. And even though I liked the local guys and I was part of that group, I was like, I think the most important thing is, rather than get the language exactly right, is to make sure we pass this. Exactly right meaning beneficial for the industry.
Yeah.
So we brought in Marijuana Policy Project. We wrote up the language. My wife, Kim, was part of the campaign to legalize. And, we won with 53% of the vote.
53.
Yeah.
More than the majority, technically.
Yeah, no, a good majority.
But it was, what was the no side? Because, it would have been 47, I guess?
Yeah.
See, that's a 6-point spread. And obviously there's things happening right now in Massachusetts that are going to, it's like a little bit kind of like, we had a spread back then. Where are we today? That's obviously, we'll talk about that, maybe touch upon that in a minute. But I want to get back to the Hempist, because 1995, what drove you to even open that?
So obviously there was no state that had legalized anything in 1995. We were, still in the dark ages. But what was happening in the early 90s was you started to see some hemp products.
Yes, hemp necklaces.
So like on Dead Tour or whatever, like the kids were making the hemp bracelets. Hemp. Well, I was up at Burlington, Vermont at the time, and that was kind of a little trendy area. And stores started carrying like hemp backpacks, hemp wallets, and I was like, okay. So, and that was kind of really intrigued by the whole thing, and then did more research. And I was like, hemp was, this is an amazing plant, an amazing crop. And well, I think maybe the best way to normalize it is to put these products out in front of the public and let them see what this plant can do other than just smoking.
Yeah, people think of it getting high all the time, right? They don't realize all the other benefits.
Right, but if you show them the paper, the plastics, the clothing, the food products, and everything else, it's really hard to think that this plant is anything other than what it is, which is a very beneficial, important crop.
And when you opened it up in it's in Northampton, correct?
We started in Boston.
Oh, you started in Boston?
Yeah, we started.
Was there a huge stigma? They were like, "Oh my God, this is was there like a head shop kind of vibe? Like, what do you?"
So it like in Boston at the time, head shops, like you really couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like we'd walk into like a Buried Treasures, or I forget the name of the other one at the time, and if you mentioned the word bong or something, you were getting thrown out, right? And like they had all sorts of. It was very tough to maintain and to even stay open in the environment. So what we did was we opened up a clothing store on Newbury Street and made it all like nice. And we did have it was like hand blown glass. We didn't have, the dildos, the posters, the swords, and everything else that we'd find at a normal head shop. And it was on Newbury Street, so it was really kind of classy, and no one really fucked with us.
Right.
Even though we were selling bongs.
Right.
And we did let people talk freely in there. We didn't sell tobacco. So we just made the argument that this glass is for whatever you want it to be.
Right. Well, did you? I'm sure you had the signs that were like,
no signs.
No, because I remember going to many smoke shops and be like, this is not for weed, basically. Like, don't use this for weed.
People would ask, like, make that comment. I would say, actually, we'd prefer you smoke weed over tobacco.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were pretty radical in that way.
Yeah, that's pretty radical.
And it was kind of the attitude: if you want to take us to court over this, okay. Let's go talk about the paraphernalia laws here.
Right.
At what point does this piece of glass here become illegal? When someone is making it, when they put a hole in it,
right? Now it becomes an actual pipe in a sense.
Right.
So because I remember back those days, because I was at high school in the '90s and graduating high school and into college, and I remember I think there's a big case with like Tommy Chong. Right.
Yes,
he got sent to jail because his name was on some paraphernalia.
Exactly. So that was back in 2000, and that was like some of the dark ages. People were going to jail for glass. The police, after 2001, after 9/11 especially, there was like a crackdown. We had like terrorist squad or whatever.
How is it even related?
It's not, but they had all these cops like walking around Boston, let's say, and they didn't really have anything to do.
Right.
So they come in to bust my balls on Newbury Street, like, what are these pipes doing here? And it turned into a thing, like where I was like, no, I'm not moving the pipes. You take me to court over this. And finally, like it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna move them for you. And I took them out. We took everything out, and then I put them back in there the next day.
What year was this?
This is like 2001, 2002, somewhere around there.
So you took them up for that kind of day, like, hey, we'll play ball.
Just so they would stop, because he was gonna close me down. He was gonna kick everyone out of the store type of thing. Yeah, it was like they were making kind of threats, and I was like, okay, fine, we're gonna take everything out, and then I just put everything back in the next day.
Wow, how times have changed.
It was like back then, like it was a different world than it is now.
So when it comes to the Hempist, then you moved to Northampton.
So we opened up Burlington, Vermont in 2000. We opened up Northampton in 2001.
Okay.
And then Cambridge and Harvard Square in 2006.
Oh, so the Hempist was kind of everywhere. I for some reason in my head, I'm thinking the Hempist was just one store.
Yeah, we had 4 stores. Now it's only one, unfortunately, because we couldn't convert the other ones. Like my landlord in Cambridge, the landlord in Newbury Street. We're not.
Newbury Street does have a dispensary.
Yeah, it was a different landlord.
Different landlord. The landlord. It was the landlord. No, the city.
Huh?
So
I don't know.
So when it comes to the Hempist side, you converted them eventually, obviously. But when we're talking about Quincy Cannabis, though, which is we're in obviously the lounge here.
Yeah.
Is it like? I guess how did that all come into play? Because it sounds like you recently it was 2023 when you finally got the license. Now we're skipping ahead decades at this point.
So I did skip some things that I've done. So I opened up Cannabis Consulting after the medical laws passed. And what was going on then when the medical laws passed is people wanted to get into the business, but they didn't necessarily have cannabis experience. It was smart business people with some wherewithal, and they, you know, so
It's an opportunity
we
where you're like, how do
to
I?
me.
Yeah.
In Good Health in Brockton, I helped stand up, and it was the second one to open up in Massachusetts. So and then we had a consulting business where we were helping do this for other people as well. And that's how I met my partner Ron over here, who is a longtime Quincy native here. And we were able, and he was, you know, wanting to get into the industry, but didn't want to jump in too quickly because the price was so high for everything back then.
You have the green taxes on everything.
Yeah. So we were kind of strategic and patient, and we scouted out locations in Quincy until we could really land on this great
spot
location here.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this spot. For people who haven't been to this area, I was coming down here, and maybe on which way I came through. I'm not really familiar with Quincy. This might actually be the first time I've ever been in Quincy.
Oh man, yeah, no, Quincy's great.
I don't travel. I'm a homebody. I'm just like my house and my work, and I go back and forth between them like many people, and it's like, you know, 15-minute commute both ways, and I'm kind of done. I got kids and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But when I came through here, I was like, oh, this is like right on the water, right? And so I'm coming through.
You see where they put us? Right next to the ocean.
Right.
They push us as possible.
So the smoke goes out to the sea. So, because that's the biggest fear is like it's gonna smell and stink up the place, and I'm sure you had to deal with all that stuff from the city.
Yeah.
But like, when I was coming through, I saw like, I'm not gonna get political, but I saw like Anduril.
What?
Anduril?
What's
The
that?
defense contractor.
Oh, okay.
Started by Lucky Palmer.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh my God, Anduril's over here? Like, this is wild. Where am I right now? Right.
Yeah.
So
It's a big town.
yeah.
It's a big city. Yeah.
So when I was coming through this way, I noticed there was also a very large bridge right here.
Yeah.
So this location, even though you were looking for locations that fit kind of a specific, friendly landlord or whatever, like, you're right. Was it because of the fact that like you've got a lot of traffic coming through here?
Well,
Or is it
Quincy
traffic
zoned it
studies?
in such a way that you were very limited
Okay.
into what you could pick from. And this location happened, like I said, they wanted it, you know, away from downtown Quincy. So here we are, we're by the Four River Bridge, you just mentioned, that goes over into Weymouth. But Route 3A, what we're on here, is a very heavily trafficked road. So we really get a lot of attention. We get a lot of commuter traffic. We get a lot of eyeballs on the store. And it's really worked out great for us.
Yeah. Speaking of eyeballs, you guys are huge into billboards. I literally saw a billboard as I was coming up here. I was like, there's a billboard right there. What?
So we were the first ones open in Quincy. And
Because now there's, I think Panacea, Drive.
Yes,
Yeah.
Drive.
People like to call it Panacea.
Pinnacle, Pinnacle,
Yeah.
Legion, and then, you know, if the Surfside opened up over, I don't know if that's Dorchester or Quincy or what. There's obviously delivery companies that are penetrating Quincy, and then stores all around. So, you know, when we first opened up, we kind of had a little, we were really good because we were the first ones here, and we put up a lot of billboards. We wanted everyone to know we were here. And now we don't want to give those up necessarily because now we have a lot of competition.
Right.
And we share the billboards with different manufacturers, like we would share with Good Vibes. If Good Vibes wants to get up there with us, we'll do that with you.
Yeah, this partnership thing is super interesting. So basically what you've done is you have the real estate in a sense for the billboards. They're allocated to you. So you're like, okay.
And there's only so many cannabis compliant billboards out there.
Right, because it has to be 85% 21 plus.
Right, yeah.
And billboards in general, to me, I've always been like, what a waste of money. It's like the most wasteful spend. Like, who's looking at these billboards and converting? But like, somehow you saw something in this, or Ron, whomever on your team, and they were like, no, this is actually working. Like, what's the math on that?
Well, you know, we don't do a lot of math here. But the billboards, I mean, obviously, anecdotally, people say, yeah, I saw your billboard and I came in. It happens all the time. And just the marketing is very limited as far as what we can actually do.
Yep.
So there's a couple ads we put out there. We do some geofencing, we do the billboards, but that's really all of our marketing spend.
Oh, okay. So out of everything, like the billboards are 99% of the marketing spend.
The billboards and the geofencing is really what we do. We have a couple like other small ads out there, but that's about it. And then word of mouth, the website, you know, we do a lot of SEO with the website and that time.
Okay, there's other marketing aspects there then. So on the geofencing side, are you using a specific, is that something like Clear Channel provides, or is it something that another company?
That's another company. Clear Channel will do the billboards.
Right.
And another company does the billboards as well. But it's a local cannabis company. Not a local company, but a cannabis-focused company that does the
geofencing.
geofencing focus.
So cool.
And
so,
they'll be here on the 16th for the stop the repeal.
Yeah, let's go there. I've obviously had lots of questions in all different various places, but like we can talk about it. So there's an event coming up on the 16th.
We're going to have an event on the 16th here at the Quincy Golf Lounge, just on the keep it legal type of theme here. And we want to kind of maybe do this up until the election where we can get people together, strategize about how we are going to defeat this prohibition effort. Not only defeat it, but try to crush it because we don't want it to come up again.
Right.
We want to put this to bed. If Massachusetts could put this to bed for the rest of the country, that would be great. And I think we can. I don't think they picked the right state to try it in.
They did not pick the right state.
And if we can get together as dispensaries, like, here and everywhere else, to just educate our customers, our clients, and get them out there to vote and have them tell their friends, that's a big advantage that we didn't have in 2016.
Yeah.
So we want to do events like this that we're having on the 16th, get other people out here, and then just, give people the education materials to just give out to the consumers and just keep hitting it hard until November.
Yeah. Yeah. That's obviously a big fight ahead of us. But the one way we're looking at it is, it's funny because there's a lot of different ways to look at it. Of course, there's a lot of reasons to not repeal here. But it's funny because one of the things we always say is that we're battling apathy within the industry too, because everybody's just like, I won't pass, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But you were there in 2016 and you said even the NPP stuff, and you've been in MassCan for a bit. So like you've seen it from what it was, and you were also on the receiving end of police being like, hey, get these bongs out of here and stuff like that. So you've seen all of it, you know what I mean? So you're like, why would I ever want to go back to that world, right?
Obviously we don't want to go back to the dark age.
Why, and it's just weird that there's some apathy around, like, like, why even risk it? Like, you should be doing everything. If you're an operator, if you're a licensed agent, right, or an owner of one of these businesses in Massachusetts in cannabis, like, you should be putting a significant effort into stopping this.
Oh, yeah. Use this as an opportunity. Use this as a marketing opportunity, as an educational opportunity. I mean, the CCC should be using this as an education. I don't know why they haven't
said a thing.
They are not.
The transition is just happened, but like still, they're still
quiet. Saying, this is how much tax revenue we have raised. This is how many jobs we're providing. This is how much ancillary income is coming. And this is how awesome it has been for Massachusetts with no downside. You would have to be insane to try to repeal this. So, hopefully the CCC does get on board with that. The governor of Massachusetts, where is she? Like, how much? This is a very good thing for Massachusetts. It's very obvious. Do we want to start putting people in jail again for this?
I think
take away all the revenue? Of course not.
It's a very popular thing. Whether you consume or not, it's a very popular thing that we have legal cannabis in Massachusetts. So any politician who comes in with us and says, hey, I'm in support of the no campaigns, vote no, I think they're going to do better in the polls, because they're going to be like the people who are standing up and saying, no, this is something that's good for the state.
Yeah. Unfortunately, politicians are not profiles in courage. That's why no one would stick their neck out back in the day.
Right.
And that's why we needed to bring it to the ballot to legalize in the first place, because the politicians were never going to would never do it. But now you could stick your neck out. There's no downside for you. Right. I mean, 2/3 of people, according to polling, support it. So...
well, you were there at the March 23rd meeting too. That's where that number came from, right?
Well, I think in general, like national polling, like when you ask that question, usually about 65 to 70% will say yes, cannabis should be legal, no matter, all across the country. Which is why, Governor Healy, why are you not on top of this right now? This could be a good thing for you. I don't know if she's running for re-election. I think she is.
She probably would be,
right? So,
I actually don't know if she's on this ballot though, but maybe she is.
I don't know. But either way, any politician, this should be a way for you to gain votes.
Yeah. There have been some, I think there's a state senator the other day that I caught online, because the recent stuff that happened with the ballot questions. So the tax cut ballot question got booted by the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And then the rent control question just got booted by the Supreme Court. And so I remember a state senator going online after that happened and said, like, these two are booted, or I think there's actually 3 questions that are now off in total out of, the 2 that I know of, those are the ones I just stated.
Yeah.
But she went through and she was just like, I'm yes on this, no on this, yes on this, no on that. And she was like, no on repeal. And I said, thank you for your support. Like I was like very active in that channel, in that Facebook push, because I was like, we have to, as operators also, to be like, yes, thank you so much, Senator, for like saying no on this. But I think a lot more politicians need to be aligned here with us.
Yeah. And I did bring that up at that meeting that we had at that hotel, and they're kind of like, they were a little bit cold on that idea. They threw some cold water on that idea, and I couldn't understand why they didn't want, I mean, they were so they suggest, oh, we need to get doctors to come out in front of that. The problem is most doctors are against this, and there are a few for it, and it's not a medical thing that we're talking about here.
Well, partially it is, though, because I talked to nurses and a couple doctors about this, and one of the nurses that I'm familiar with who runs in the medical side of things is Drudas Ledbetter. And Drudas was saying that, like, if you eliminate recreational and you only keep medical, you're missing out a giant cohort of data that we can collect and study that will help us do a bunch of really powerful science and for the medical world. But without that data set, it's like we're basically saying that repealing adult use cannabis in Massachusetts will allow for much less ability to study it, basically.
That makes sense.
So from that perspective, I think that's another reason why. But I think I know. So the thing with politicians is, if you align yourself with a politician, then you're kind of like blue or red all of a sudden, right? And then it gets super weird. In Massachusetts, obviously we're a blue state, but like,
and that does make sense.
You know what I mean? So if Maura Healey comes out and says, or Governor Healey comes out and says, hey, I'm no on this one, I think we're going to be excited regardless. We'd be like, all right, the governor came out and said this. But at the same time, I bet there's a bunch of red state people who are just like, boo, whatever she does. You know what I mean?
True. Okay. But
regardless if it hurts them or not.
In 2016, they weren't afraid to come out against it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, regardless, all of them were against it. And now it's just crickets out there.
Right. Well, moving off the politics side real quick, as we kind of like think about maybe current day stuff, and we can get back to repeal in a second, what's with the lounge? Like you just were like, all right, we got a store.
Oh, the golf lounge. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the lounge right now. Why?
We want to have a consumption lounge here eventually.
So this is like the steps before.
Yeah. So this real estate is obviously kind of almost connected to our dispensary, but it's a separate property.
Short walk. Yeah.
So it's super convenient to set up a retail store and a consumption lounge right next to each other, as far as the consumer is concerned. And we thought, let's do this. This will differentiate us from other dispensaries. This will be a good place for the community to get together. And we think that people need a place to consume, and people want to get together and have a good experience. So that's what this is. We are just running it as a regular old golf lounge, pretty much at this point, which is great. But at some point, we do want to turn it into a cannabis consumption lounge when, everyone gets their act together. We get permission.
Will you still keep the golf part?
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny. I guess if people were drinking, I'd be worried about the clubs. But if people are just consuming cannabis, I'm fine with the clubs.
Don't the other golf lounges?
I don't know.
Don't they serve
I can
alcohol,
imagine
right?
people coming out swinging. If you've been drinking too much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful.
Yeah,
I'm sure they won't allow drinking and obviously consumption, but
no, we can't do both.
Can't do both.
But if I had to pick one or the other and have people swing golf clubs, I'd choose the weed.
Exactly. Same. That's what I was like. As long as there's no drinking in here, I'm sure the clubs are fine. But this is such a cool setup. So like, obviously the dispensary is 50 feet away, right? It's super close. You can walk right over here really quickly. Like, are you imagining? Like, and I actually don't know that much about the consumption lounge side of things. Have you looked into the regulations to the point where it's like, there has to be a vault, I guess, probably here, I'm assuming, and there has to be some kind of transfer?
Yeah, I mean, it's a separate license. We would run them as separate businesses. And there's different models you could use for that. But we would have a small selection here, I think, and we'd serve people up, and we would let people buy over there whatever they want off the huge menu, and then bring it over here. We would never be able to have the whole menu that we have.
Yeah, I'm just
at the lounge.
I guess that's what I was trying to figure out. Was like, is that allowed? Because I guess once you purchase it, you purchased it, right? So whatever. And then in this space specific, kind of like what makes this lounge in a place where people want to come? Is it the games? Are there going to be live events? Are there, things like that? Have you thought?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like we could bring bands in. We can do more than just have the golf on here. We could do movie nights and stuff. Yeah, we have all the games, and we're just trying to create like I don't know. I used to like going to Amsterdam back in the day, like the coffee shop days, and it wasn't a lot to do in those places except sip on some coffee and drink some tea and smoke some hash or whatever. And I think that's kind of what we would like to do here. It might be a little bit different depending on the regulations. Like we know, like we'll be able to serve like cannabis infused seltzers, and I think the vaping will be legal indoors, but are they going to allow for the smoking inside?
I think there's probably allowed. It's just ventilation. I think that's what everybody's
Yeah, hopefully, and we're going to set that all up.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can do all that, and that we'd like to just have a lounge, coffee shop, chill type of environment that people can get together and smoke some good weed in.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, taking that kind of Amsterdam vibe and try to kind of like locate it here. Has the town indicated, or city, Quincy, have they indicated like they're okay with it yet or anything like that? Have you talked to any
Yeah, I
local
mean, Quincy
politicians?
allows, the mayor is, he's been great with us, but he wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of cannabis in the world. And that's why there were no stores here for a while.
It's the same mayor still, from when you started.
Yep.
Okay.
And we've gotten to the point where we have 5 stores. There's delivery allowed here in Quincy. We have a great relationship with the city. So we think that they will allow consumption lounges. Obviously it has to be in the right spot, but we think that we will be able to get the permission to do that.
Yeah, because I keep on thinking about how towns were very anti. A lot of cities and towns were very much anti. And I know, for instance, Caroline in STEM, she's going through a whole petition right now in Haverhill, which is another city,
to allow
for her social consumption because she has STEM. And then I think it's either a bread above it or whatever is like this big open space. When she came on the podcast, she kind of explained the space to us. And I think she now has to go get like 4,500 signatures in Haverhill or something like that to get the mayor's attention or whatever.
Right.
And I know that historically the city Haverhill specifically has been a little bit not a friendly place in a sense because they were fighting back on the all the taxes and stuff like that. And they got a little bit messy, had to go to court and stuff like that, and eventually got settled. So just trying to get the temperature of like Quincy. So Quincy right now, so before he was very much anti, but the mayor's now come around to being like, it's here. So.
Yeah, and obviously they recognize the law and they know that this has been a good thing for Quincy. It's obviously bringing in X amount of dollars per year and providing a lot of jobs. And there's not really a downside.
Right.
What is the downside? I don't know. Explain it to me.
And so let's talk. I want to get back to the kind of like the store for a second too, because I keep on thinking about those billboards and getting people in. Have you seen a drop since the other stores have come online?
Yeah, we're down like 20% from our top. But we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the only store in Quincy, of course you're going to be capturing a ton of traffic.
Are you still number one though?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, great. I don't know exactly what the other stores are doing.
Yeah.
I would hope.
So I like that attitude. I like that attitude because sometimes I talk to some dispensary owners and they're just like, oh yeah, the menu, they do have this on their menu and all this other stuff. And
yeah, we like to keep our head down and focus on what we're doing. We don't like to get distracted and torn away by, oh, this person's doing this, isn't how we respond to that. Like, well, of course we got to keep our eye on what the competition has on their menu, but we're not going to spend a ton of time analyzing that.
So is there growth happening in Quincy? Are there new people who are coming in all the time? Or so you have a consistent base, I'm assuming, but
we have a very consistent base of regulars here. And Quincy, I would say demographically, Quincy's kind of it's slightly older. It's a lot of people live here for life, and we get a lot of clientele that's over 50, over 60 years old, and that demographic has really been increasing usage. We find like I get sometimes I'm over just working the door for security, and everyone's they're older than me.
Yeah,
most of the people coming in, and more and more seniors are converting off of whatever medications they are on, or, you know, maybe dropping alcohol or whatever, and moving over to this. So I think there is a lot of growth. There's, you know, and it's also, this is a ton of people are moving in and moving out of this town. So
you got some fresh blood always coming through.
There's a lot of fresh blood. There's a lot of regulars. And, you know, that's part of the reason why we have all the billboards up, is we got to stay pertinent.
Right. What about, so seniors are a hot topic for us as well at Good Vibes, because we always think about, you know, when we get emails from people sometimes, or we hear from bud tenders and stuff like that, we're really popular with the seniors.
Yeah.
Are you specifically tailoring your menu in any way towards seniors, or maybe like what it looks like inside the store towards seniors?
Not necessarily. We have a lot of like help you sleep type of thing. In fact, one of the billboards will have the sleep aid on there, and that is definitely geared towards older people. The store and, you know, like the lounge are very classic styled. We're not trying to be you know, tie-dyed hippie type thing. They wouldn't accept that in Quincy.
Right.
Yeah, this is a blue collar. This is an old school type of place, and that's what we, you know, we don't appeal to seniors, but we appeal to that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well, then are you, maybe the bud tenders themselves are, how many people, actually, let's talk about the company in total then. Like, how many people are on staff right now? And how many are, say, front retail staff?
Close to 30.
And how much are retail staff? Like 15, 20?
Oh, you mean actual bud tenders?
Yeah, bud tenders, or floor managers or store managers, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's pretty much everybody.
30.
I mean,
Everybody's there.
Yeah, I mean, like we encourage our managers to be on the floor. Even security, we want to be able to throw on a register if needed. Like,
wow, okay. Busy, yeah. They get trained up on the registry even.
Yeah, we try to train all the security on the register, and you know, it's good for the. You don't want somebody just sitting there all day doing the same thing. Sometimes like, just break it up.
Keep it fresh for the person too. Make them a little bit more engaged. Yeah.
And you know, we have to do things in the back. You know, obviously you sticker, you package, or whatever you're doing. But we generally we don't have somebody to say, okay, you're only in the back.
I went to a store the other day, and there was only one person in the store.
Yeah, we don't do that.
They checked me in, and they were like, okay, give me a second. They buzzed me in, and they ran back behind the counter. I was like, what's going on?
I've been in stores like that too. And
I was like, I don't know if this is like,
obviously they're not doing a ton of business.
No.
Store.
When I talked to her, she was like, well, someone else is supposed to be here, but they didn't show up or something like that. Because obviously turnover is a thing with bud tenders.
Yeah, no, we get a lot of people banging out, calling out sick not every day, but a lot. And you know, it's just like a regular business.
It's a retail job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, and you've tons of retail experience, obviously, too. So like, what your experience in maybe like the Hempist, what kind of like, when you were part of the build out or whatever, were you specifically in your head like, okay, we have to design it a very special way?
Well, that's an interesting question, because we had an existing retail store, the Hempist, that we were converting into a dispensary. And so what we had is a small footprint that then we took over the store next to us. We took over the apartment above us and the store behind us. So
this is the Northampton store.
This is the Northampton store. So we blew out like a bunch of walls and just opened it way up and made it much nicer.
Now that audience though is more hippie. So is that more like
So
tie dye?
There, like we had so the Hempist, I always got away from that because I didn't want to fall into that stereotype, and I was trying to bring it out of that stereotype. So
they're fighting it.
So here we'll play the Grateful Dead in the store all the time. But at the Hempist, like I wouldn't do that because I was like trying to take it away. I was playing like Miles Davis or whatever. I was just trying to elevate it a little bit. And but yeah, so the Hempist, it's a little bit more. We have the hemp in there. Like we actually will sell the hemp clothing, and we have a lot more Eddie glass and stuff like that. Or the hemp's. Here is just kind of, it's nuts and bolts. We inherited a small store here, actually.
So there was a store here. What was here before?
So this was a pool store. And we had to convert it's only 2,000 square feet. So we had to convert that and make it, I think it was smaller, and we had to add on to it to make it work for, and what we did is the way we designed it was just a blue collar type of vibe. Like no hippie stuff here, but over time, like we've gotten looser with it, and it's pretty cool in there, I think.
Yeah, well, I think you design it with intention, and then organically it kind of just slowly evolves. Yeah, because I think every time I go into a retail store, I'm very observant of like, what displays I see. Because obviously I'm a brand too, so I'm like, what brands are on the walls and stuff like that, and like how they have it set up, how their aisles are set up, right? Because sometimes you go into a co-located store with medical and adult use,
Right.
and they have two different lines, all this other stuff. So I think a lot of intention has to go into these things because, especially a senior who's never been in a store before, they're like, they walk through the door and all of a sudden it's security at the desk, and you're like, okay, this is like serious now. It's like game on, like what's going on here?
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I was asking about the bud tenders. Like when somebody comes in, maybe like a senior type of person, are they trained in a specific kind of like almost script in that sense? Because it's like a senior, so it's like this is how you
we're
them.
not going to give people a script, but they have to greet the people coming in. We try to be the most customer centric store around. We want to greet people. We want to be super friendly to the people. We want to be super helpful to the people and have them leave feeling great about their experience at the store. We'd never try to have a line. That was an issue for a little while here when we were the only store in Quincy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good issue.
It was a great issue, but we'd have lines coming out the door. We'd be outside.
Yeah.
And, we'd just be trying to crank. And that's, you want to get people out so you could bring the next person in,
right,
but you don't want to rush that person.
Right.
So, there's a balance there. But our bud tenders are great. They're very well educated on the product, and they're very just naturally good at helping people find what they want and just being a really good rapport with the client. And that's what we want to set up, is a place where, we might know your name, you feel comfortable coming into, and we might know what you need, and you're going to get it at a good price. It's super convenient. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Out the door, and you're done with your day.
Yeah, because before you were here, they probably had to travel so far. So they're like, hey, now we got something hometown.
Right. Yeah.
Now we can actually just go to this spot.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, though, obviously, MaryMed, who runs Thrive, is an MSO. Like, they have a bunch of stores. They probably have a bunch of capital behind them.
Yeah.
Like, in your head, what do you think about when you think about that store being here? Did you, like, for a second be like, oh, crap? Or
well, there's, they're in a different... such a different area.
Different area.
But so they're on the other side of 93.
Okay.
They're up close to Dorchester. We're down here close to Weymouth and Braintree.
Different audience.
It's a little, and plus we were open. They were medical, and we were open up before them.
Yeah.
So there really was no concern there because we were the first ones. We're going to take everybody we can right now and try to get them onto our platform and bring them here. But we knew they were going to open, and they were going to, obviously the people that lived closer to them were going to go.
Better go to them.
Yeah,
it's convenient. Yes, sometimes.
It's just like, think about it from a consumer's perspective. You're not going to drive 20 minutes out of your way to go to a store that's probably got a very similar menu.
Right.
To do that. But, that being said, we do want to make it very convenient for people. We want our customers be treated very well, and, that can make a difference.
Yeah, and because I think about retention. I think about like, okay, you had these people, you had this head start, you got a bunch of people with adult use to come to your store. And then slowly stores start popping up. When you think about retention, do you guys have like loyalty programs now, all that stuff?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we have loyalty programs.
Is that through like a separate company, or is it homegrown?
Well, we just have to have an app, so everyone, we get onto our app, and there's a different company. We don't have our own app company. I'm not there yet, but we
have our own apps. We have our own software team. Sorry.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we don't have a software team. Matt, are you our software team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Software engineer.
Yeah. So we don't have, but it's fine. We farm that out. It's not a huge expense for us. And
so you have your own app though. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So
Quincy Cannabis. That's how you get on there. You can earn your points.
Loyalty.
Yeah. You earn points every time you make a purchase.
Very cool. Do you guys do any like fun stuff like, if you earn this many points, you get a free t-shirt or anything like that, or?
Oh, we'll give you free t-shirts all the time. You don't have to earn periods of that. Yeah. We've given away 1,000 free t-shirts, free hats, free Quincy gear. Yeah. Like I said, we want to treat the customers right. The points we are strictly using for the discount on your purchase, which is, that's what people want anyways.
Yeah. We're still trying to figure out how we can partner with dispensaries to get kind of in that world, because we have our own loyalty app as well.
Yeah.
And our loyalty app is really just on our products, of course, right?
Right.
And so you can earn points that way. And we're trying to figure out a way, if there is a dispensary out there that wants to partner with us to be able to provide our points and use them towards purchasing our products.
So you just earn more points every time you.
Yeah, so every time you buy, exactly. So we can already do it. So we already can aggregate points into the app through buying products, and we figured out a solution for that that's very unique in a sense.
Right.
But then it's more about like how do you redeem it though in the store?
And that's something you could do at the consumption lounge, like as well.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't have the loyalty thing for the consumption lounge. That wouldn't really make sense. But to get people on to, whatever products we had, you could do a specific loyalty program. But we could do it at the store for you too.
Very cool. Yeah, we'll have to talk offline about that one because we're always trying to figure out a way like, okay, so we know that say like there's 35 people who have the loyalty app and they have about 1,000 points each or whatever. They're going to Quincy Cannabis consistently.
Yeah.
That's really great data to have because then we can surface them specific deals for Quincy also to be like, hey, if you buy our product on this day, on Tuesday, Thursdays or whatever, then we can get people to like redeem the points on those specific days that come in and drive traffic to your store.
Yeah. No, we're always trying to drive traffic. We're always trying to create more consumers, and we're trying to take people away from alcohol and tobacco. And sometimes I think that's why that this is on the ballot in November. I think that like the alcohol companies are somehow behind this because we're taking such a big bite out of them.
I've heard so many stories. It's the alcohol companies, it's the pharma companies.
So,
Jimmy Young came up to me yesterday at the rally, and he was just like, it's the pharma companies, and I'm just like, I don't care. I have to focus on winning this.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But historically, back in the war on drugs days, the biggest three contributors for, a drug-free America would be the tobacco.
I mean, donating
funds to put out the ads and the misinformation or fund all the studies to try to find something wrong with cannabis. That was the tobacco companies, the alcohol companies, and the pharmaceutical companies. Was all the drug companies trying to maintain their monopoly.
Yeah.
And, still, obviously, that is still happening. And there was so much money poured in. More money has been spent trying to find something wrong with cannabis than all other vegetable matter on earth combined.
Yep, that's a fact. Yeah, that and like the amount of research that we could have been doing in a positive way to be like, here are the benefits to it. Is it's 1,000 to 1 in reverse, right? So, but that was just funny because Jimmy Young was just like, it's the pharma, because we were trying to figure out like who gave him the $20 million, like who's donating this money to Sam. Right.
Well, supposedly don't they have Miriam Adelson behind them too?
There's some talk, but nobody knows because it's a private 503c, so it's a private nonprofit. So their donors are private, so we don't know.
Right.
And so Jimmy's just trying to be like, maybe there's a FOIA request you can make, Freedom of Information Act.
I think maybe after the election you could.
Yeah, exactly. Afterwards, you can figure out where the money came from or something like that. But I actually don't know that well. But maybe not. But I guess what I'm saying is, despite like who's running these things, we're obviously being proactive. You have this event coming up on the 16th. At the event, how do you get the word out for something like an event? Because obviously we're very limited on marketing, right?
So I mean, we use our social medias. Obviously, we could get that out there, and social media is tough, as you know.
Yep.
Like you can't do a lot of stuff, and you have to be very careful.
Ban you and so quick.
Even though we think prohibition is ending, they're still they're talking about Schedule 3 in the federal, and they're still treating it like heroin. So we'll use the social medias. We're working with Talkie Joint's memo.
That's right. That's where I saw it.
So
and somebody sent it to me.
It out there.
And TJM also, Chris Ferrone and that team.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Chris.
So they have obviously a good following.
Yeah. They've got a bunch of people. Yeah.
So they'll put it out there. I mean, and Surfside is the company we do the geofencing with. They're more than just Massachusetts. They have a lot of clients out there, and they do the geofencing, so they can blast it out there as well. And we'll just do in store. Our customers
head in
will
some cars,
know
something like that, or the loyalty app. Maybe push things through the loyalty
the app, everything like that. Yeah.
Is there some kind of giveaway for the people who show up, like for the customers who are coming in to support? Like, have any thoughts around like how to get them, or like
everyone will be treated right? Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You can. We're gonna use the golf lounge here. Use the simulator for free. You can play the games for free, and I'm sure we'll be giving out drinks and food and everything like that.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out the layout here because on camera you can't really see this. Maybe we'll do like a B-roll so you can kind of see the what I'm talking right now. But obviously we get the fireplaces over there. That thing. What's that thing called? It's that board, shuffleboard.
Oh, the shuffleboard.
Dude, I didn't realize how long that table was. But that's a fun game. I've played that a few times. We also have the bumper pool. My dad has one of those.
Old school,
bumper pool. And then the ice and the hockey machine. These are all like high quality things too. These look like they're professional right up out of arcade.
Oh yeah, they're all brand new.
That's legit. Yeah, that stuff's legit. And obviously the golf simulator.
And this is the biggest simulator around. Like,
is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about golf simulators, but
2/3 of this size. I don't know a lot about them either.
Yeah.
But this
That's
one's
a big
big.
Yeah.
This one's great.
And so when you hit the ball, it kind of the screen absorbs it.
Yeah, we don't have.
It doesn't bounce back at you.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Any accidents
Yeah,
yet?
you don't have to wear a helmet and a face mask or anything. No, there's no accidents. It just absorbs, falls down, and you're done. You'd have to really screw up. In fact, nobody's done. Has anybody screwed up enough where the ball has
come up?
Yeah, so we
pretty safe stuff. I mean,
we've hit thousands of balls in here.
Yeah,
and we have the curtains up there.
You get the bud tenders on lunch break being like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hit the balls."
Yeah, every now and then a bud tender will come over and we'll have them test it out. They have some good swings, those bud tenders.
So is it like a social lounge in a sense where are you thinking about memberships or is it really just like
we want to we want to do memberships, but we want to do events. Like ideally, like we're doing this event, but like if you have a birthday, if you have a corporate event, like
a space,
like for our corporate event, like instead of going up to Fenway Park, or we'll just do an event here, and we would encourage a good vibe. You guys want to do your corporate event, or your corporate outing here? Great, you'll be able to consume here. It'll be a private event. We can't advertise that, but
just imagine people in suits coming in here.
Well, no, like most of the time it's just not because it's just direct. People go online, they sign up, they come in here, they hit balls for an hour, and whether they're wearing a suit or not, it's not a cannabis thing at all.
Right, that's where I was going with this. So I'm thinking about how. So right now, how do you use the golf lounge?
It's not as a cannabis thing at all.
Right.
Just as a regular golf lounge.
But is it a subscription? Is it a one-time
You could go to QuincyGolfLounge.com. You could sign up for an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Now, are there driving ranges around here?
Yeah. Well, there's Granite Links.
Okay.
That's up by the other dispensary there. There's... What's the other course? Presidents?
Presidents, Brook, and Railroad.
Yeah, so those are
a couple around here.
Yeah, and they have simulators up there, and people have leagues and everything, but they can come here and play on that instead of going up there where they might have to wait.
It's a whole new world. I didn't realize there's leagues for simulators.
Yeah, this was basically Ron's idea. Ron has been he was the first
golfer
member at golf. Yeah, so he was the first member at golf at Granite Links. So
really,
yeah, so he's been doing this for a while, and he saw that there was a demand for the simulators. People are trying to sign these up and sign up for these, and they can't get on them because there's a waiting list. So that's kind of we had the space. We're like, what are we gonna do? That's what we did.
What was this space before?
What was the space? So the fireplace. It was the fireplace shop. Yeah.
Oh, you got the fireplace. They left them. They were like, "Hey, we'll keep them."
We kept a few fireplaces.
So I was like, "That's an interesting choice to have 3 fireplaces on the wall."
Kept the name. We kept the name for a while. It was called the Fireplace Lounge. But then once we put the simulator in, it was
the golf lounge. It's so cool. Yeah, I mean, there's so much obviously going on. You guys got a lot going on. We didn't really talk about Vanguard that much, but that's a tier 8. I just want to touch on
I believe it's almost 70,000 square feet of canopy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest ones in Massachusetts. We're growing on 3 levels.
Is that a partner? Oh, there's a
lot of partners. Yeah. There's a lot.
And that's in Leicester.
That's in Leicester, Mass. Yep. Centrally located, and we have the Farmers Cut line, the Holiday line, a couple other lines, and
that's where Holiday comes from.
Yep.
Okay, very cool.
Yep. And so
I love that branding. Super clean.
Oh, thank you. And so we sell a lot of it here at Quincy Cannabis. And obviously his stores around.
Yeah, wholesale everywhere.
We're one of the biggest wholesalers in Massachusetts at the point.
Is Quincy Cannabis ever interested in doing their own kind of like store brand?
Oh, we do our own.
You do have a store brand.
Yeah, we're Quincy Cannabis Co.
Oh, very cool.
Actually, we had Anahata too. We have a couple. We do our own repackaging.
Yep.
We'll buy bulk, and so we'll package it up into Quincy Cannabis bags, or the high end. We have an Anahata line.
And how do you look at that compared to like maybe other brands who are coming into your store? Do you, for instance, a brand that's maybe like an eighth, or no, not an eighth, but like a quarter of pre-ground or something like that? Would you entertain any of those brands? Because you're like, well, we already have our kind of base.
Oh yeah, no, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're not like trying to just push our own brand.
Yeah, how many SKUs approximately do you think you have?
Over 600.
Wow.
Yeah.
600 SKUs in that
Yeah.
store.
How many? Oh, Matt just left. Yeah, maybe close to 700.
Wow, that's a lot of SKUs. The bud tenders don't get too confused, do they? They get it.
No, they're great.
All right.
Bartenders are great. It's just, I mean, as long as we keep the stuff organized and where it's supposed to be, you know, that's the main challenge. Like, oh, where the hell is this thing? I have to go look at it.
That's
You
a
don't
great
want
selection.
Yeah, we have everything labeled, so it's pretty easy for, and it's a small store too, so nothing can get too lost.
Right. No, I more mean just like the bud tenders, because as a brand, we're always talking about bud tender education. Okay, let's go educate. Let's go figure out a way to talk to the bud
Yeah,
tenders.
we try to hire passionate people who know cannabis.
We're just going to absorb that, and they're
Yeah.
just going to love it.
Yeah, they'll know because they'll be a consumer as well. They, you know,
Yeah, of
I was
course.
going to ask them, "Have you tried this?" Yeah. So you try that. Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah, because we're always quality controlled.
It's all QC here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And actually, I did see, I'm not sure who it was, but somebody in your staff was walking over here. I think they had a Good Vibes t-shirt on too.
Oh,
They had like one of these shirts. I was like, oh, yeah.
yeah. We don't make them wear just Quincy Cannabis stuff.
Right.
We have them promote all the different brands. You know, there is a dress code. You know, there's certain things they can't wear, but we're not going to make them wear a Quincy Cannabis uniform.
Wow. So looking back on the journey from maybe 95, starting the Hempist, or even just exploring the Hempist back in the 90s, all the way till today, like you must have learned a ton of things. You also must have made a ton of mistakes, right?
Oh yeah. I can't even remember all the mistakes. There's been so many.
Anything else to
I've made
tease out? Anything
mistakes
is
today.
so have I.
Yeah. God.
But there's some that must have cost you, and you're like, oh, either set back like 3 months or some amount of dollars, and you're just.
I mean, if I got into what like Vanguard,
I was gonna say cultivation is where I kind of those Indigo and Vanguard.
cultivation thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could.
we
sit
bought
here-
this
we
huge
could sit
fertigation
here,
and
we could sit
yeah,
here for hours
and even
talk-
toss it out.
and
We
talk
resold it for 1/10 of the price.
yeah. We could,
Equipment in cultivation is a thing.
but luckily we haven't made a ton of mistakes here.
Mhm.
You know, maybe at the beginning we didn't need a break room and we could have expanded more and had a bigger retail store, because that's eventually what
That
we did.
is a thing. We actually had a break room scheduled in our facility. Our facility is less than 2,000 square feet. It's like 1872 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the architect that we had was like, okay, you're going to need a break room and all this stuff. They made this break room. And I'm like, get rid of that immediately.
Right.
We're making drinks,
Yeah,
especially back
you're
then.
smart,
We have
you're
a
smart.
giant bottling line. We don't have space in
Yeah,
1,800
That
square
was a good
feet.
call.
You know what I mean? So
Well,
things
so
like that. Yeah.
I had the consulting company for so long, and we had done so many of these
Yes.
that we had worked out a lot of the mistakes back in 2013, 2015, 2017. By the time we got to 2020, you know, we were somewhat smart and we were able to kind of do things without getting killed. But like I said, the cultivation, like we ran into some definite problems at Vanguard, and that luckily we've been able to work through. And they weren't really necessarily anyone's fault. Sometimes it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
With the cultivation.
And if you were to compare all of the companies that you're involved with right now, what do you feel is the most successful?
Luckily they've all been so. The Hempist has been very successful. I mean, Quincy Cannabis has been very successful.
Yeah.
Like we're one of the top performers in the state right here. This does more business than the Hempist out in Northampton. Obviously, we have a bigger population base. There's fewer stores here. We would be doing something wrong if we weren't doing better.
Northampton has a lot of
in
stores. Yeah.
Northampton with 12 other stores.
Right.
That being said, we really do well at the Hempist, and we do well here by just, you know, kind of doing what we've always done best, which is sell weed.
Well, it seems like you're dedicated to the mission, obviously. You've been doing it
We're
for
just
quite a
so
while.
Dedicated.
So when I'm thinking about kind of like long term, are you in a place right now that everything's profitable and you're able to kind of like continue to operate the way it is? Are you looking for funds right now, or is it like
No, we're
everything's
not.
good?
No, we're not looking for fun. No, these places are fully paid off. The grow is still in debt. That we're still paying off debt and paying off investors and everything like that. That will be for a long time. We would pay back the investors there. But as far as the retail stores go, yeah, no, they're totally thumbs up and
Fantastic.
running smooth.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Northampton really quick, you said there's 12 stores. Is that approximately what it is right now?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that situation? Do you just like obviously you didn't just like close up shop and be like, forget it. You're still there. And you also had a history there because you had the Hempus before as a hemp store.
Yeah, and so
So
a lot of people recognize that we've been there. We're not just there as people who are coming on to profit off the situation. We were there as people who wanted to correct a wrong, right? To justify or just basically end prohibition and do it the right way. Like we were very effective at the Hempist on changing people's attitudes, changing people's minds, educating people. And the people in Northampton, they recognize that and they stick with us.
Yeah.
Northampton is named after hemp, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Hemp, H-A-M-P, is the Danish word for hemp. So whenever you see that in Northampton or the Hampshire, Hamptons or New Hampshire, New Hampshire means new hemp state. When the Vikings came into England in the year 1000 or whatever, they left a lot of those Danish words there, and then obviously those came over here. So that community, like is very hemp or cannabis friendly, and they are aware of a conscious type of store. They're just very conscious in that way that they don't want to support a big transnational corporation or an MSO. They would rather support the local guy, especially the local guy who was there fighting for this for so long, right? And that's kind of, we were pioneers here in Quincy too. So people respect and support that.
If there was something that you would change about maybe the regulations or just how the state itself operates and recognizes cannabis, is there anything you would change immediately?
Well, I pushed really hard for increasing those consumption limits. I think I pushed harder on that than anybody. And now we see Massachusetts do that. I think Vermont just did it, and Illinois just did that. We want to treat, when we passed this in 2016, it was supposed to be treated like alcohol. That was how the wording was. How much alcohol can you go into a store and buy right now?
As much as I want.
Can a kid walk into a liquor store?
Yeah.
Without an ID? Yeah. So, we do want this to be in line with alcohol. And really it should even be less restrictive because it's
dangerous.
It's much less dangerous. Cannabis is technically safer than most of the food we eat. So I always encourage the CCC to look at it through that lens. Like it's not something harmful, it's something helpful. Yeah, of course there's going to be regulations around it and we don't want people under 21 using it, but at the same time, there's a lot worse things out there.
That's a lot worse things. Wow. It's been so fun to talk to you. I've learned so much already. Any last kind of like parting words? You want to give any shout outs? Obviously they have the event coming up.
Yeah, we want people to come by for the events that we're going to have here at Quincy Golf Lounge. We want people to check out Quincy Golf Lounge, stay updated as we try to become one of the first consumption lounges in the state. Check out Quincy Cannabis Company if you haven't already. We have a great menu. We have great people here. And we really want to be leaders in this fight to keep it legal here in Massachusetts because we're experienced in that. We've done it before. Obviously, the CBA, they're doing great work.